Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How can Muslims use social media for da'wah while maintaining modesty? How can Muslims use social media for da'wah while maintaining modesty? So social media, like the internet, like a computer, like a knife, these are all instruments, right? They are instruments. And an instrument by its very nature doesn't necessarily end up being halal or haram. It doesn't take a hukm until it becomes part of an action. So a knife is just a tool. There's no hukm that is applied to a knife until you start asking, can I use the knife to cut my food? Can I use the knife to stab someone? Now, depending on the context, it would take a particular hukm. As for how can a Muslim, as for our question in particular, how can a Muslim use social media for da'wah? The answer lies in any way that is suitable and appropriate and conforms with the laws of Islam. That's the essence of the answer. As for the specific creative outlet that a person decides to undertake, remember the objective is calling to Allah Azza wa Jal. So some people may want to call to Allah Azza wa Jal through means of speaking, others perhaps through means of poetry, others perhaps through means of short statements or articles or just a general message to the ummah. People perhaps want to share content like the meaning of a verse of the Quran or a saying of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. All of this constitutes da'wah. If the particular individual making da'wah using social media is concerned with modesty in particular, in other words, that they don't want to be arrogant or have any sort of inappropriate behavior for a believer, they always need to check themselves, they always need to watch themselves, they always need to check their intentions, right? It obviously becomes more and more challenging to remain sincere when there are so many eyes and ears and comments and likes and shares that become a consideration. And any number of these things or any combination of these things could easily cause one to become distracted and eventually insincere. Wal-'iyadhu billah, Allah forbid, Allah protect. So I would recommend that we safeguard ourselves by having certain instruments in place that we can constantly check ourselves. One concept that I personally find to be effective is to ensure that one's public life as a Muslim does not far outweigh one's private relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So we have a relationship with Allah. Part of that relationship is within the public sphere, and part of that relationship is private. To ensure sincerity, make sure that your private progress is as effective and as speedy as your public progress. And if your public progress far outweighs your private progress, then you need to start being concerned, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Another mechanism of defense that one could have is sincere and honest friends, right? Companions who wouldn't hesitate to inform you that your behavior in a particular post or in a particular video or in words that you used is inappropriate, and they can provide you with some guidance in that respect. This is how you can maintain modesty while employing social media. Then another interesting aspect of this is, should I opt not to engage with social media out of fear of being immodest or out of fear of committing sin? I believe here every individual needs to make a mature decision. If I know that I am likely to fall into sin, or I'm definitely going to fall into sin, then there's no question, rather stay away from this means and find an alternative means that poses less risk. But if a person doesn't have a direct or immediate fear that they're going to be tempted into haram or they're going to be led astray, they should not shun a means entirely where that means could be beneficial, right? A person who fears for themselves and they don't think they can manage, yes, bismillah, protect yourself first. But the person who feels that, I have a support base, I have a family, I have friends, etc., that I feel sort of generally secure about, they will protect me, they will protect me in the sense that they will criticize me where necessary and I can rectify my actions, then I believe it's something that is worthwhile pursuing, because, of course, we know the reach of these modern means of technology or these modern means of communication, they far outweigh what we would be able to attain within our individual capacities with a physical audience, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.